as many as necessary throughout the month. I need to establish that the currency I'm using is not the espionage and treason as established by the Treasury Department,
Okay,
and it will need special management.
okay. Such as,
And I have a doctrine to prove it.
okay, what kind of special aspect did you need on that?
Proper accounting.
Okay,
Are you insured federally?
we are.
Excellent, so that should make it easy.
Oh, I'm sorry, can you give me,
I had a budget fixed out over 25 years ago at the house that Jack built. And that called for at least $8,000 a month, and that also didn't account for inflation. I've only been getting 800. That's a 10% of what I'm supposed to be getting.
They can't do anything about
Right,
that.
but if I establish in the bank that is federally insured, that my currency is not the espionage and treason they're using, that's special accounting. And it isn't graded the way the espionage and treason is accounted for. I.e., when your money value goes down because people won't repay the debt, causing it to be exponentially less valuable, mine doesn't do that. Mine gets more valuable the more I have, not less. I'm establishing that my currency is not the currency that's been established by Reagan House. I do not have the doctrine to prove honesty and integrity. And I believe that this has the ability to not only help establish but maintain the value of that currency, and I would like to do that for your bank.
Yeah, Jeanette kind of told me a little bit of you guys doing Social Security as far as getting direct deposit and stuff.
Right.
Are you guys already set up? Are you getting
Yes.
Social Security checks right now?
Yes, his money is going to Chase Bank at the moment,
Okay.
but there are no Chase Banks
Yeah,
here.
unfortunately, there's not. I think I seen one other ATM like on Sam Street Road.
Is it okay if I plug in my charger?
Yeah, go ahead.
Greatly appreciate it.
The only thing is that obviously to open the account, we would have to move outside because
Yeah.
there's, I have to go through the computer there.
Right.
I wanted to establish with you in a private
Yeah,
conversation
no, that's fine.
the intent and principle. of
Yeah,
the-
I understand completely where you guys are coming from. Now, the only thing is, are you guys gonna be setting up a joint account or just a single account?
Well, for a while anyway, we want it to be a joint account.
Okay.
So that I can,
Help monitor
Help him.
and maintain.
Okay, that works. Another thing is, do you guys have your social security cards and IDs with you? Okay,
I have an ID with me. I have two forms of federal ID.
Okay.
I have my professional service ID.
Mr. Brevin, do you have a state issue ID though?
I do.
Yeah, okay, so I will need this, yeah, this one we actually don't accept to open the account, we actually need what it is, a driver's license and a social. Yes, sir. This is your, the current address right now, the 6205 Antigua Street Northeast?
no, that's my address. Do you want, mailed things to come to me, or do you want them to come to you?
Electronically for both of us.
I can do one electronically, like an email to either or. There's no way for me to send two statements, we only do the one.
Maria French.
So you guys are wanting to open a checking account with us, or what
Yes.
is it that you're looking for?
Looking to open a checking account with you and establishing an accounting properly of currency.
Okay.
Honesty, integrity, and respect as opposed to espionage and treason through economics. Exponential, geometric, isometric growth.
So what kind of account were you guys opening?
A checking account.
To begin
good deed or,
Yes, cash
Open it.
deposit will open it.
and how are you gonna maintain the account, like what type of transactions or?
Social Security disability
Okay.
will come in every month.
And then with proper accounting values, that should be exponential through federal law. As established already through accounting through economics.
Okay. So, and were you gonna set up a direct deposit, or? Okay.
Yeah.
So did you guys wanna go get that started, or?
There was a question about.
Yeah, well, he had a
proper
question about the value of his money being,
Degraded by
yeah.
improper accounting, and if we could actually establish a proper accounting of the currency here,
Wow.
as it is a federal bank and it is insured thusly.
Mhm. So, I mean, I
You,
don't be,
by that, do you mean that
Well, see,
your money would
Every
come?
second that goes by, the dollar's value is actually exponentially dropping because the more espionage and cheating you have, the less it's worth. Whereas if you were to put a marker down and say, okay, this $435 is not espionage and treason, it's honesty, integrity, and respect. Its value, just by staying the value that it is, will become exponentially more valuable just by the fact that they're not repaying their debt. In
Yeah,
comparison.
and that's what I was trying to explain to you. I mean, we definitely can't do that because that's government regulated.
I'm not disproving
You're
the system.
federally
I'm proving
insured.
there isn't
It's
one.
only
Your money's
insurance.
federally insured.
It's not insurance, you don't need insurance.
Your money's
FDIC.
There would have
federally
to be a
insured,
system
as
in order
if
for it to be
something happens,
disproved. There
you're
wasn't
gonna
one.
you're
get what-
guaranteed to get the
Right.
money.
Yeah, but
You're guaranteed to get
What I'm
your
saying
money
though
back.
is, if you count it as everyone else's money, what you would be giving me back is actually less than what I'm trying to put into your bank.
See, that's the thing. We're just so
Because
if
of
you
what I
think about-
just explained with the static,
Yes, I understand what you're explaining.
just
to
the,
us,
the
but
fact that it
that's-
doesn't lose the value that
that's
the
nothing that
US
we-
currency does,
That's the
makes
thing
it that much more valuable.
That's nothing that we can control.
And that's not even counting the fact that it will continuously be putting more money into it.
Yeah,
The only
that's-
the only thing federal here is the insurance, the FDIC insurance.
Right.
Which is based off of what currency? Sense
United
Reaganomics,
States.
US.
which
currency.
is espionage and treason.
But
Which
it's,
isn't insurance at all. It's just they say, you say.
well,
By
that's-
definition.
That's the thing.
with the
I
currency.
mean, that's the best.
All
thing
you have
we
to
can
do is
offer.
decide,
We
to keep
can't-
We
track.
can't make that
We
decision
can't.
like,
as employees of the bank.
That's treason, mutiny,
they don't have that
usurping.
kind of,
who in the bank does? Because somewhere in this bank has to be someone with the ability to make that decision.
No.
Who is the
Otherwise, they
state?
can't be
can only-
federally
Who's the
Federally
insured.
country?
governed.
Rules
So
of
they're the ones
engagement,
that tell us what to do.
constitutional
They
So
law,
the
tell-
people that I need to talk to are the people who are
mutiny,
governing.
treason, usurping.
Who are they?
The feds,
The feds.
Who are the feds?
the
They're-
federal
that's
officers.
not-
I am the
Federal
feds.
Reserve.
Because
Can't you tell?
if
I'm
you
talking
follow
to you
back all
now
the
about
way,
what it
comes
is.
down to being the citizen that's responsible
Dereliction of
for it.
duty,
If you-
conduct
if you
on
go to
becoming
the
an
feds.
officer and a citizen.
That's what they'll say. It's up to the citizen. So
No, it's not. up to
Yes,
us.
it is. It's what it always
So
is.
because then again,
That's why
we
you
need to do-
pretend to vote,
did
you
they
two
tell you
fuck
that
piece
you're
of
not
shit tard.
citizens of this country?
You two fuck rat
No.
hole.
Because then they don't have the right to tell you not to.
No, they didn't say anything about that, but if,
Like,
Hold on a
I
second.
want-
Hold on a second. Maria Branch.
So you guys are wanting to open a
So the people who governed you told you that you weren't allowed to decide what your currency is?
So are you like recording this conversation?
Oh.
Did you wanna open an account with us
I
today
do,
or not?
but I need, this is federal evidence of federal, what is it? When you neglect. Since Reaganomics, the currency has been espionage and treason. And if they're keeping you from being able to use anything other than espionage and treason, that's federal neglect. So I'm trying to find out from you who I need to talk to make sure that you and I can have a partnership with actually having a currency worth keeping track of. So,
what
if-
a bank.
is there a specific federal department that told you that you are not able to make this decision?
I work
Do
for
you
the
know, or
company,
did-
I don't know.
Okay, appreciate it.
So,
There
There it
is
is.
no
Now there's no
bank
authority and I'm the one in charge.
that
Internationally.
will give you what you
yeah,
what you
World
want.
Bank.
Well, you're not gonna find a bank that's, I mean, a bank that you can
The
go
World
to
Bank
and
is
have a
supposed to
checking
be
account with.
funding this bank, that's why it's the
Internationally.
World Bank, which is
No,
why you're
they're
supposed to be able to
separate
do
things.
this.
It's a
Imperialis
separate
and
That's
thing.
Conglomeratus.
You went to espionage and treason with Reaganomics. No, it's not.
Okay, so I don't have the
Okay.
question, the answers to the question.
Do unto others
you're
or eye
asking.
for an eye, because how much
So,
damage
Is
is
there
making a
anyone
movement.
in the building
That's why
at
it's
this
equal
point?
No,
rights.
sir.
No, okay, appreciate it.
What they can do is help you handle your day-to-day cash. They
That is
can't
fine
do
and dandy.
anything about the,
But if
Value.
they are being imposed upon to the point where they can't keep track of honesty, integrity, and they are forced to keep track of espionage and treason, that's federal neglect. And that's civil and
And it's-
constitutional
it's-
law violations that are being
it's
imposed upon
something
them.
you'd have to
Technically,
take
that's
up
rape and
with-
jihad
you'd have to,
Let the
by
record
civil and
stand,
constitutional
international,
law.
imperial, federal, celestial,
and
divine court.
terrorism, technically.
you would still have to handle those concerns
It's
with
already
the
been
federal
handled.
government.
I've got a doctrine that proves it all.
Dereliction of
There's
duty,
nothing to
conduct,
stand
and
in the
becoming
way
an
other than
officer
the
and a
fact that
citizen.
people are deciding not to. And if people are being told
I
that they're not
established
to
the
by
authority and
authorities,
you are
I
refusing
need
to
to gather
recognize
those
it.
names.
What
When
you
would be a
can,
Rules of
good time to
engagement,
set up an
Mediterranean
appointment with
Project,
someone
Colonel
with
Bradford.
the authority to make those calls?
there
do
is
you
no
know?
one here.
There's no one.
There's no one here with direct ties with the federal government,
No.
and they're federally insured.
Yes.
X-ray, 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 broken arrow, danger close.
Is the owner ever in, or
Martial
will
law.
they have a meeting?
We're, our home branch is out of Oklahoma,
Okay.
so
Would there be a
Bank of Oklahoma that we,
They're underneath another bank,
They are our parent company, basically.
but each of those banks are regulated in the same way.
I mean, like I said,
It doesn't matter if they're regulated in the same way if they're all forced to use espionage and treason as currency. That's not regulated. You
What
can't
you're,
regulate espionage and treason. All you're
Okay.
doing is defrauding the government.
what this bank
Let the
can
record
do
stand,
for you
international, imperial,
is to be
federal,
a
celestial, divine
depository
court.
for your money and to help you track where your checks are going or
Is it possible to set up communications with the owner of this bank after opening up a savings account?
I don't know the owner of the bank.
Okay. Do you have a telephone number that they supply you with? So people can talk to the owner of the bank in case there's an issue?
I've never had that request, but I can sure check and see.
That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.
let me have her check and stuff, and then I'll bring that phone.
Thank you. All they
there's no way they can.
Honesty, integrity, and respect just in and of itself is 13 times more valuable than espionage and treason. The fact that people are using espionage and treason and refusing to look at it as espionage and treason makes it worth that much less. The fact that you all are continuously using it as a currency is fraud. By definition, under standard, the standard of all standards. It's sacrilege, it's blasphemy, it's jihad, and it's rape.
Well, then we might as well just accept the fact that you're not gonna be able to get another account.
And
Because
you
no
got
bank
that from
here-
where, considering what I've already established. And you're speaking for who, considering you refuse to acknowledge what I've already said? Because that's rude.
You handle it. And if you want, if you decide to open an account today, I will be that secondary person on it.
Okay.
Let
But
the
I am
record
not
stand,
gonna be
international,
able
imperial,
to
federal,
make
celestial, divine court.
800 turn into 8,000.
I could.
And technically, I
It
already
would
did.
take less than a minute.
I'm just telling you what my limitations are.
You know, as an accountant, you should know
So why doesn't theater play
An accountant
June?
knows the way it works.
Four testaments.
Otherwise, you are stuck with
First
an
Testament,
account
Second
that
Testament,
you are
First and Second Testament, and the Book of
that
Mormon.
you are going to chronically be overdrawn in. Because
Meaningless,
there's no
home-wrecking,
agreement.
warmongering,
Because you all
espionage,
refuse to
rapists,
use
jihadists,
anything other
treasonous,
than
traitors,
espionage and
sycophant,
treasonous
bio-waste.
currency.
I use what is
Jew.
accepted in this country.
4 Testaments.
Because
Why
you choose
doesn't
to
theater
accept
play
it,
Jew?
whereas I
Soliloquy.
choose to actually understand the standard of the nation, live and died for it, over and over and over and over and over again, while you people just run around committing espionage and cheats and collecting. Woohoo! Who cares about the country?
There, I just turned 800 into 8,000.
Let's pretend to
Soliloquy.
be worried about Medicare. Who cares about the fact that currency is espionage and treason? We don't have enough espionage and treason to treat your disease, because that makes a whole lot of sense.
Soliloquy.
Well, like I said, you do the negotiating.
I'm gonna go check to see how Serena's doing.
True love, true faith, blind faith movement. So there it is. My dissertation put into action, philosophy in action, world economics. The world is now the most valuable it will ever be, ever. All that is left is exponential geometric isometric growth. Love you. Thank you for existing, wife. Look at the greatness you've inspired on this plane of existence alone. I am proud of you. Mwah. Onahom Akado. Soliloquy.